Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. I am going to give my spoiler Godzilla vs. Kong review now. I have just watched it for a second time and took the time to make some notes. So if you do not want to be spoiled, click off this video, watch my spoiler review, which I will put in one of these areas up here, or spoiler-free review that I'll put up in the thing up there. And yeah, so spoilers ahead, just letting you know. And with that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, Godzilla vs. Kong, I gave my official scores on my spoiler-free review. Basically, 7 out of 10 objectively. This movie is good, but it's not that good. There are glaring problems with it. And now that I can actually talk about the spoilers, basically, here are some of the things that I have put in. They actually have some of the plot holes. First off, how did they build the containment around Kong without him knowing? Now, they also show in the beginning montage that the perpetual storm that surrounds Skull Island actually moved inward and closed into itself, which started killing everything, basically, I'm guessing. So that would explain why they had to put him in containment. Now, second, how did they get him on the boat to Antarctica? They just click from inside of the containment field and to where they're talking about, and then suddenly he's on the boat. That is very bad storytelling. Also, how did the depth charges in the Godzilla versus Kong fight, the first one at sea, not affect Kong? He had him completely wrapped into his tail. How did that not kill Kong as well? Also, I mean, this is possibly because Madison grew up within Monarch, but they never really go over how she knows about skull crawlers. Those are just a few of the plot holes that are kind of big in this. I mean, yes, I can understand how they get Kong onto the net to get him to Antarctica, but there's just a lot of problems here. Simmons' daughter, Isa Gonzalez, who plays Maya Simmons, her character is unlikable. She does do some good acting to make her character very unlikable, where she's like, did the monkey just talk? That's a dumb line. And she kept on calling it monkey. It's kind of racist. It is kind of a speciest thing, not racist, but speciest, because, well, he's an ape, gorilla, and yeah, her character, it's like, I recognize that actress. Then it's like, oh wait, she's the one from Alita that Alita literally kicks the head off of and pins the head into the wall and whatnot. So it's like, it's that bitch. And she really does play a very stuck-up bitch in this movie, and she does it very well. That's a testament to her acting. Millie Bobby Brown's Madison Russell. No offense to Millie Bobby Brown. I really like her in Stranger Things. She does 11 perfectly. But in this, she's not that good. I'm sorry. From an objective standpoint, her acting is too childish. Yeah, I understand she's a teenager and whatnot, but it's just way too childish. Alexander Skarsgård, he's hit and miss with me. I liked him in Battleship. He actually did a good job in Battleship. In this one, it was interesting, but it was also not really. Julian Dennison from Deadpool 2. His character just seemed to be there only to be mocked constantly and made fun of. It's like, dude, seriously. You got a good line with that's a Mecha Godzilla, but it's your character just seemed to be there for comedic relief. And while I get that you're a funny character and you're a funny guy, your character literally serves very little purpose in this movie. As does Millie Bobby Brown's, as does Brian Tyree Henry's. Now, don't get me wrong. Brian Tyree Henry is a good actor in many of his movies. But in this movie, Team Godzilla, which is Julian, Brian, and Millie, they served very, very little in this movie to the plot. Very little. I'm not going to go so far as saying that they did nothing, because obviously they were the ones that helped in the battle of versus Mechagodzilla, because, yeah, Mechagodzilla is literally freaking just tossing Godzilla all around the friggin' city and beating the shit out of him. And even when they had to jumpstart Kong because his heart was nearly stopped, that was a pretty interesting scene. And him also having to pop his shoulder back in after Godzilla dislocates it. I really enjoy this movie, but there are glaring issues with it. I mean, some of the goofs was, well, the Hollow Earth mapping is inconsistent with King of the Monsters. Where King of the Monsters, Godzilla was zipping around the Earth through these tunnels that connect to other parts of the Earth. But with the Hollow Earth vortexes in this one, they go straight down into the Hollow Earth itself. Where the Hollow Earth in King of the Monsters has more of like wormhole-y areas that kind of just go like this instead of straight down. So you go into one, you get zipped over to the other. It's kind of a teleportation kind of thing. Millie, I don't know if she was mocking Julian Dennison's accent, his New Zealand accent, when she says, it's romantic and whatnot. Either that or her accent completely slipped and she forgot to say anything. Or I'm thinking she was just mocking the accent, to be fair. But it really it's like, eh. Also, when they get to Antarctica with Kong, how are they not freezing? Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth. Negatives all around. And it's like, you guys are wearing these new futuristic little suits to put you in the Hollow Earth vehicles, and you got Gia, who has a coat and some clothes on, and it's like, how are you not freezing to death, child? Gia is one of the more interesting characters. How she is, yes, deaf, and how she talks with Kong, and then Kong, when you first see him sign, it's like, he does home. Not the one in the trailer, that's where he signs in the Hollow Earth, home. That's the only word he knows, but he understands sign language. He actually understands it. He doesn't speak it. He only uses home. That's the only thing he does in this movie when it comes to using the sign language. Where Gia understands him through looking at his reactions and other. Because when they're like, he doesn't understand, he does understand. He's angry, he's sad, he doesn't believe that you have his best interest in mind. And they're like, how do you know? He told me. Well, the only thing he really says is home. So it does make you wonder, how else is she communicating with him? Gia, that is. Also, the Iwi were killed because of the perpetual storm closing in, so it's an interesting story there. The fight between Warbat and Kong, the two Warbats, was pretty freaking cool. And then he rips that damn thing's head off and just starts drinking the blood. It's like, okay. I'm guessing he was probably thirsty, needed some sustenance. I thought they were venomous. But hey, that could just be a thing about the toys. The look of the Warbats were freaking phenomenal. Then you see these other little crab-like creatures, Then you also see those psycho vulture bat thingies or whatever they are. And you also see some of the creatures from, or one of those bird-like creatures from Skull Island. Those little ones that were ripping people apart in Kong Skull Island. They're actually much bigger in the Hollow Earth. You also see this like kind of huge lizard thing that's, I don't know why, I just got Son of Godzilla vibes from it. But I don't think it's a species of Godzilla by any measure. Hold on one second, need to hydrate. But as for the fights, when Mechagodzilla comes out, and they purely go Godzilla against Mechagodzilla in this, the movie Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, where they create the mech around the bones of another, or of the original Godzilla, and that Godzilla's spirit possesses the mech. Well, Ghidorah's skull is used in this, and it's used to interface with Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla wrecks a freaking humongous skull crawler in here. That thing is bigger than the other one that fought Kong in in Skull Island. So somehow Apex got their hands on skull crawlers and skull crawler eggs. I'm guessing they raided the Hollow Earth because they also have zip maglev vehicles and tunnels that go through, or can zip around different places from Pensacola all the way to frickin' Hong Kong. Ren Serizawa, his character is interesting, but he's not fleshed out in any means. We don't know the reason why he does what he does. We don't know his motivations. But he does have a little bit of common sense when he's like, we don't know how this new energy is going to interact with the mech. And Demian Bashir's character, Simmons, is like, get your ass in the chair. Well, the neural interface gets hacked by Ghidorah, its brain, and I just love how it just turns its head to look at Demian Bashir's character as he's in a little bunker or command center, and it just kind of sneaks up on him, and everybody's backing away like, oh shit. And it's like, look behind you, dude. And he's just giving the speech, man. It's like, I had a dream and it was beautiful. And then, boom! Mechagodzilla in this movie was freaking awesome. The digital effects in this movie were very good. Now, obviously not as good with this Mechagodzilla, but it was still good. Godzilla having more emotions, like when he hits Kong with his atomic breath, you see him kind of go, kind of smile, like, it's like, yeah, I got you, motherfucker. You want to keep this up? It's like, no. You don't really want to give Godzilla way too much elation or joy or too much emotion. He is an animal, after all. So you gotta maintain that balance. You don't want to give him too much emotion, like, hey, good, I got him, kind of things like that. That doesn't work. Where there is the other part where after everybody shuts down in the sea battle, he rises up above the water in the flames where he destroyed all the other ships, and he's looking at Godzilla, or Kong rather, and he's like, okay, I'm not hearing anything from you guys, and oh, you're still up, are you? And he snarls, or Kong snarls at him, and he snarls back, but now that he's no longer a threat, Godzilla moves off. Now, folks, I really love these sequences. The fights between Godzilla and Kong were great, and it was a definitive battle, or they were definitive battles. Kong lost. He lost. He lost both times, even with the axe. He lost. When Godzilla freaking stomps on his chest and gives it, or leans down and then starts snarling and growling and roaring at him, and Kong gives his final roar back, Godzilla's like, okay, you're done. Yeah, you're done. I don't need to fight you anymore. You're nothing. You've lost. And Kong, you see Kong literally, he's like, hey, getting back up, trying to get back up. And he's like, basically saying, get back here, I ain't done with you yet, you little... Ugh. It just basically just falls back. And it's a great scene. And it's understandable. But Kong actually did put up a good fight. Everybody was saying, oh, it's one-sided and whatnot. Of course it's going to be a one-sided, but Kong also does have intelligence. He's not stupid. You see it on display in this battle. When Kong has a crane, he throws the crane to make a sound behind Godzilla. Godzilla turns. That's when he springs onto him. And he got the upper hand. He had to rely on tactics against Godzilla. He couldn't just go toe-to-toe with him. And yeah, even with those tactics, he still lost. Godzilla is the king. Now, as for the other Titans, I am kind of wondering what happened to them, because all of them are said defeated, including Rodan and all the other Titans that had bowed to him. It's like, what, did he go and just slaughter them? I'm not understanding what's going on here. What happened to the other Titans? I would like clarification, please. That is where a lot of plot holes and problems come in. If you are saying all of them are defeated, he never fought Rodan, unless this is done off screen, in which I hope they do a comic that explains it. Because, yeah, there's going to be people asking a lot of questions. The girl who plays Gia, what's her name? The little one, where is she? Well, I don't see her in here. Yeah, they don't have her on the IMDb cast. That's weird. Let's check the IMDb. But yeah, the kid that plays the girl, they did it very frigging well. Or she did that acting very well. She is naturally deaf in real life, and she played that character exceptionally well. Come on. Yeah, alrighty. Kaylee Hoddle is her name. This girl did a great job acting, because you could literally feel her emotions when she acts and when she signs. She conveys it very well. She is actually the best actress in this entire movie. Honestly, she is. You got the bigger names, Rebecca Hall, Shinoguri, Demian Bashir, Brian Tyree Henry, and the other ones. But a person who did this is their first movie, upstaged all of them. She did a better job than all of them. Great job to Kaylee Hoddle. Because, oh my gosh, that was just that good. You can feel her emotions when she signs and when she is talking and trying to convey the emotions she needs. She does a great job. It's like she was born to be an actress. She did a great job. How old is this kid? I mean, she's like, what, 7, 8? I mean, she is literally, what? How old is this kid? She comes from an all-deaf family, spanning 4 generations of deaf relatives on her father's side. Her native fluency in American Sign Language has provided her with opportunities to perform in commercials such as Glide App, yada yada yada. Yeah, but how old is she? I mean, she's got to be like, see full bio. I think she must have been born in like 2010 or something, because she is young. She's got to be like 7 or 8. They don't say it on here, but she does a wonderful job. This kid is a great actress. And the fact that she literally did a better job than most professional actors tells you something. This kid has a future in acting, and I look forward to seeing her in more movies in the future, because you know what? She's got the talent of a natural actress. It complements her very well. This kid did a good job. And I'm not saying that to Sim. I'm saying that from an objective standpoint, Kaylee Hoddle did a great job in Godzilla vs. Kong. She did a better job than most of the professional actors and big names in it. My final thoughts on this movie. Yes, the scores stand. 7 out of 10 for objective. It's not a great movie, but it is a good movie. The special effects, which a lot of people gripe about, actually there are some good effects in this movie. There are some great special effects in this movie. When they get close up to Godzilla and you're seeing cast off of water sliding down his spines and whatnot when he's first coming to attack in Pensacola, yeah, they do some great freaking special effects. And Kong, in how he is reacting and whatnot, yeah, all of it is very good special effects. This movie is special effects heavy, digital effects heavy, and it is done well. They really do a good job in this movie, way better than King of the Monsters and Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. It's just really well done. The acting is the weakest part in this, except for Kaylee's. She was actually the best. But everybody else's characters, especially Team Godzilla's characters, they're just not interesting. Where Team Kong, well, Rebecca Hall's character is the second best, and Ren Serizawa's character is actually third best in this whole thing. Now, Mechagodzilla just wrecking everybody's shit until they team up, and even then he's holding his own because he's got the infinite power of the Hollow Earth in him. This was such a great fight. The brutality in the fight between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, he is literally just boom. I mean, Mechagodzilla grabs Kong's head and puts it just like in one building, then another building, then right up into our face into another building. He is literally throwing him around, wrecking the hell out of Hong Kong. I mean, I love it. And they're saying that everybody in Hong Kong was evacuated. I have a very hard time in believing that. Even if they all got into shelters, there were people in the buildings. They were killed. Them trying to say, oh, they did. Everybody in Hong Kong is fine. It's like, no, you need to have casualties in this kind of fight. I mean, you saw those people getting slaughtered by Mechagodzilla when he came out. And I do love how it is the same kind of tribute to Kiryu from the Millennium Era Godzilla movies with Godzilla against Mechagodzilla in Tokyo SOS, where he gets possessed by the spirit of whatever creature was used to make him. In this case, it was Ghidorah. Ghidorah took over and he just went on a destructive rampage. Then saw Godzilla, and Godzilla's like, oh, you mother. That's the reason why he was going off on people. Or after the Apex sites, which you only see him attack one, and then you see him going after the one in Hong Kong. But then when he's in Hong Kong, he senses the Hollow Earth's core power up, and he's like, no. That's why he blasts down into the ground. This movie truly has some great moments. It also has some very weak moments. And I still think that they could have cut the weaker moments out. The conspiracy theorists, Brian Tyree Henry, bathing in bleach and whatnot. You don't see him bathing in bleach, but it's one of the reasons why, or him coming up with like spy dust and whatnot. It's like, we don't need to know this shit. This is unimportant to the main plot of the story. So, dude, hang that shit up and focus on the main story. It's just ridiculous. Also, them using songs instead of in a pure score was also a mistake in my opinion. That's a subjective opinion. But it also took my attention away from the movie a little bit, because I also had to pay attention to the goddamn lyrics. You know? There's a lot wrong with this movie, but there's also a lot right with this movie. The digital effects, the monster fights, they focused heavy on them. And I am thankful for that. They needed that, especially after the last 3 movies. Anyway, folks, that is going to wrap up this one. It is a spoiler review, so it is longer. So yes, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below after you have seen this movie. What was your favorite moments in this movie? Spoilers are allowed in this comment section. So with that out of the way, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this. Hope you all enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong. And this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.